Hello and welcome back to Metaverse. For today's video, we are going to be talking about OlympusDAO. Explained everything you need to know about OHM. Let's get started. What if there was a cryptocurrency that was designed to be stable, but offered up to 8,000% annual percentage yield, APY? What if, unlike the US dollar, this stable coin was genuinely backed by something and, like the US dollar, the community made decisions about the projects quickly and affordably? Reserve Currency Protocol. A lot of individuals agree that money has worth, and we use it to transfer value from one person to another. For instance, particular seashells were once used as currency. They were exchanged between tribes for other goods, like food and tools. Considering that they could be exchanged for tools and food, the shells now formally stood in for such items. People ultimately stopped using seashells and began employing other valuable materials, such metals. Our US currency was truly backed by gold not too long ago, meaning that if you wanted to, you could exchange your dollars for gold because every dollar had its own equivalent of gold stored away. But every dollar was then backed by silver when it switched from being backed by gold, and ultimately we arrived to the dollar not having much support. Now, this is significant because it implies that the only basis for the value of your money is the opinion of others. It was technically true when it was backed by gold, but it was challenging to produce more gold at that time. Nowadays, printing money is so simple that even criminals can do it. The main problem here is that we have to trust our government with the authority to print additional money and thus change the value of our currency. In the future, we might begin to conduct trades using digital assets, but this video will examine the subject of whether a reserve currency protocol will also apply to digital assets. Treasury backs all OHM tokens. A cryptocurrency called the OHM token was produced by OlympusDAO, and as of right now, Dime backs each and every OHM tokens. Now, before we go any further, let's define the distinction between being supported by something and being tied to something. If you purchase a stablecoin, such as USDT, it is linked to the US dollar. You might be wondering, how? In other words, if you give Tether 1 USDT, they will give you $1, and the reverse is also true. In other words, it functions as an open exchange that lets you transfer US dollars to and from the blockchain. This terminology is tied to the value of a dollar, which is not how OHM operates. OHM is actually backed by a variety of treasury-based cryptocurrencies, such as Dime, Fax, and Raptor, which provides a floor of bottom value that the underlying cryptocurrencies will remain until supply rises. Each residence is currently supported by assets totaling $178, and market value of the OlympusDAO treasury assets is above $700 million. The absurdly high interest rate Olympus is presently providing. Treasury. The Treasury allows you to purchase bonds, and this mechanism essentially allows you to purchase OHM tokens for the Treasury at a reduced price. They may be curious as to how you obtained that discount. Well, you must first pay with another coin or token, in this case, Ethereum. Let's imagine you wish to purchase one OHM at a cost of $10,000. You are allowed to purchase OHM for the Treasury for $9,600. The hitch is that you must pay with Ethereum and that you must wait 5 days to obtain all of that OHM, thus giving you a 4% discount. You made money if the price remained the same. In a more complex scenario, you could provide treasury discounted OHM in exchange for liquidity pool tokens. And here is where Olympus comes in. Enables the protocol to earn the fees that traders pay when buying or selling OHM OHM. This makes it possible for the treasury to possess an increasing percentage of the total held liquidity. In essence, this shows that Olympus is profitable. Okay, let's return to purchasing OHM at a discount. One OHM is only intended to be worth 1 dime, which is where the twist lies. Currently, dime is a stable coin with a nominal value of about $1. Therefore, when the treasury sells you an OHM token for $9,600, theoretically $9,500 or 99% of that goes to the treasury as profit. Bonding is a method that provides bonders the chance to make a profit while also earning Olympus treasury money. The only risk they are incurring is that their own price may decline. To put it briefly, bonding permits Olympus to produce more OHM tokens so long as the price of OHM is more than dollars. Stacking. The treasury permits stacking as well, where you can deposit your own tokens to earn extra OHM tokens. The total quantity of OHM is reduced as a result of stacking. However, the key advantage to you is that holders can acquire all the extra used OHM tokens. Continuing with our earlier scenario, Olympus may now issue $9,599 USD worth of OHM tokens and distribute them to the stackers because it technically has an extra $9,599 USD worth of Ethereum in its treasury. The idea is that you are not selling when you stake. Additionally, you are not selling when you purchase bonds. In any case, your actions are not selling. Therefore, even while the supply overall rises with each rebasing, this does not significantly affect the price of OHM. Here is a quick review of what happened when OHM had more support than it required. It merely prints new tokens and distributes them to the investors. However, Olympus will begin to repurchase OHM when it has less backing than it requires. LP rewards. Consideration should also be given to something called LP rewards. Recall that we said the treasury purchases its OHM liquidity through the bonding mechanisms. As a result, Olympus holds 99.88% of OHM liquidity, a very substantial majority. Actually, as a result, they end up keeping almost all of the trading fees associated with OHM. In reality, they make millions of dollars only from customers, only from consumers buying and trading OHM tokens. This currently serves as a significant source of income for Olympus and thus contributes to the development of the OHM treasury, which backs them OHM tokens. The 3-3 meme. The 3-3 meme that you undoubtedly see circulating new represents something more significant. It genuinely embodies a concept from game theory, which is a philosophical approach to using economics and human psychology to win games. Prisoner's dilemma. Consider that there are two criminals and that they each have two choices, each to comply or not to cooperate with law enforcement. If a criminal cooperates, they received a better sentence, while their accomplice receives a harsher one. If they both cooperate and confess, they will both receive a severe punishment. But if they both maintain their innocence, they will both receive a less punishment. So, given that you don't know which option your partner would pick, which one should you choose? Let's examine the square representing the prisoner's dilemma. This illustrates how both offenders' action will turn out based on their decision. You can see from these two squares that if one confesses while the other one does not, things turn out favorably for the confessor while being very awful for the non-confessor. You can also see how, in this case, if they both confessed, the outcome is negative for both of them. Finally, if both of them refuse, they will both receive the greatest care available. And game theory suggests that if both of them are reasonable, they should choose this course of action. Now, OlympusDAO used the same approach to expand this square into their own 3x3 matrix. The ideal scenario is that everyone stacks the OHM token, including you, while everyone selling would be the worst scenario. Again, this means that optimal scenario is for everyone to bet for the long run, given that everyone taking part is sensible and conscious of this mental process. We will state that this regrettably depends on people. So to see the result, you'll have to check back in a year or perhaps 10 years instead of making assumptions though. Here are two worst case situations immediately. The first is what happens if the price drops to the amount for which one dime is backing it. Keep in mind that I indicated that each OHM should be equivalent to $1. Technically speaking, that is the absolute minimum that it should ever be. The price that OHM should not follow below given the amount of money as the treasury is actually something called the floor price. I haven't yet discussed this. However, suppose there are 1,000 OHM tokens available and Treasury received OHM $4 million. Consequently, each OHM is supported by assets worth $4, and Olympus itself as a system will begin purchasing back OHM tokens if the price of OHM ever drops below $4, so lowering the overall supply in circulation. Some of you may be asking how this project compares to Iron Finance and the Titan token at this point. The Iron Finance bank run, which led to the project's failure, is actually very dissimilar from OHM. Bank runs were possible to Iron and Titan all the way to zero. Olympus is vulnerable to the same issue, but this time there is a price floor. Furthermore, the protocol will actually buy your tokens back. Moreover, in the event of a bank run, you would only lose the difference between the current price and the amount of support provided by each OHM. Since the protocol officially controls over 99% of its own liquidity, it will continue to receive fees as time goes on, and more individuals purchase OHM. Consequently, the treasury should continue to expand quickly. So certainly, there are hazards associated with OlympusDAO technique, but they are distinct from the risk associated with Iron Finance. From our discussion, what have you learned? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.